Hi, everyone, and welcome to Signature West Podcast. I'm your host, Sam West from Palm Springs, California. My guest today is Ted Guice. He is a personal trainer in Palm Springs, California, and fitness expert. At 63 years old, he has no intention of slowing down or even stopping anytime soon. Good morning, Ted.
Hey, good morning, Sam. Good to be here.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Having a great day so far.
So far, you already had a class, I believe.
Yeah, I did. Yep, 7:30
Lovely.
this morning.
We're going to get to that in a minute. So,
Okay.
when did you take us back and when did you fall in love with the fitness world and
Well,
had that thing for it?
okay. Well, it happened pretty early in my life. When I moved to San Francisco at 20 years old, I joined a Nautilus gym on Sutter Street, and that lit the fire. I started to see changes in myself, and I wanted to be, I could barely grow a mustache, but I wanted to have some muscle on me, and that's when it started. So I've been in the gym ever since. That was 1977.
And that you were 20 years old, and then eventually moving forward, you moved to Palm Springs in 2006.
In 2006, yeah, a few stops in between, but I lived in San Francisco for 17 years and Hawaii for 8 years, and then Carmel, and then I came here.
Is that when the world, your world and World's Gym world collided, or how did you find your new home?
Well, I was a member at World Gym Palm Springs from 2006 when I moved to Palm Springs, and then I'd always kept my training certificate up to date and everything. And I was recently divorced and thought, shoot, I need to go back to work. I don't need to sit around on my butt. And so in 2010, Mark Hinkle, the owner of the gym, said, sure, we'd love to have you. And that was it. I started.
So when did you get certified as a trainer, and what does that take
That
to
was through
become?
Loyola Marymount here in Southern California. And that was when I was 29 years old. I did that. And I've been certified ever since.
So that was before you even thought about joining the fitness, like becoming a fitness trainer. You just did it because you wanted to, or was that something you was
No,
organically?
I actually had a couple of studios. I had a studio in Sacramento, a personal fitness studio, and one here in Palm Springs in the 90s. So I was active in it the whole time that I got my certification, and I did a little training there in San Francisco as well.
So you've been around the block, to say the
I
least.
have. That's a good way to put it.
To say the least. Let's just cut to the chase and see what it is.
Yeah.
What I know you have a love for being part of World Gym,
Hmm.
and obviously it ended for now um,
Yes.
this year. What did you? What is that love about?
Well, World Gym is World Gym Palm Springs is such a I don't want to use the word melting pot, but it is sort of. There are so many different people from all walks of life and all backgrounds, all economic situations, and I just love that about it. I love the trainers I work with. I mean, there are 26 trainers at World Gym Palm Springs, and I just adore every one of them, and they all have their own special qualities. I
Is
was
that a
made to
lot?
feel at
Is that a lot?
home there. What's that?
Is that a lot? 26 for one
Yes, it
location?
is, and there's room for all of us. So
Wow,
everybody seems to do okay.
interesting.
Yeah, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of that. I've talked to trainers who came from urban areas where trainers don't even talk to each other because they're so competitive, and we
Exactly.
are we are so not like that. I mean, I refer clients to other trainers, they refer them to me. If it doesn't work for one, it'll work for another, and it's just a really nice family of trainers. I adore all of them.
So were you doing just one-on-one at World, or were we also doing classes? Because I know there's a difference
Well,
between the two.
one-on-one is the mainstay of my day,
Right.
but for an hour each day, Monday through Friday, I do this G-Force workout class, which is a hit class, and all set to nonstop music. It's so much fun.
So explain to the listeners and even to myself, because you have a
Mhm.
class that you give a godly hour early in the morning, which we'll get to that shortly here. The difference
Okay.
between working out with weights
Hmm.
and working out without weights, like the class that you give, because I find them very different, and I'm not really satisfied. For me personally, I get a high from just
Hmm.
having that pressure, the resistance with weight, as opposed to um, I call it jumping up and down, but I don't mean to
Yeah.
jump anything.
Well, you're not alone in your sentiments. A lot of people feel that way, but I got to tell you, the best thing to do is both. And there's more science behind that every day. I do resistance training for myself as well, and I encourage my clients to get their cardio in. And classes are a great way to do that. If you don't want to sit up on the bike for a while or the elliptical or the treadmill, come join a class and have fun with other people doing the same thing. You need that. You need that cardiovascular exercise.
So it's a cardio form. It's a cardio. Any type of cardio is what you're referring to, not necessarily a class at 6:30 in the morning. 7 in the morning.
No,
Okay.
no. Any kind of cardiovascular exercise you can get is worth doing, whether it's walking or running or treadmill. Any of those great machines or class, it's all good. Just so you move.
And how often is that recommended a week?
You should do that 5 times a week at least. They recommend that you get at least 30 minutes a day of
A day.
aerobic. Yeah, exercise. So you can't slack on this, and that's especially important as we age.
So 10 minutes ain't gonna cut it.
No, 10 minutes is not going to cut it. But I got to tell you, Sam, 10 minutes is better than nothing. Okay, so if 10 minutes is your limit, I say stick with that until you can do 10 and a half minutes and then build up to 11 minutes. It's all good.
So I'm gonna share a story because you probably can relate to it, and feel free to add to it. So I've been working out, since the 80s, and because I love it, I enjoy it. It gives me, I sleep better, and I feel better, and when I look better, I feel better.
Yep.
After the recent shutdown, and it's been months now, I found myself sleeping like in the average of 9 hours a day, and I'm not a hiker. I took a class that God only knows at what hour in the morning. It was torture because I just can't. I did just torture. And so I finally pulled the trigger and I joined the local gym that has an outside gym for now. So I did it, and the first day after working out, I went back to 8 hours of full sleep, and my body completely turned around. It was literally the first day.
Yeah, that's how it happens. I think that's a great example of once people quit going to the gym for an extended period of time, it makes it that much harder to get back if they're not super motivated. So I think that's a great story. Just one time of walking through the doors and getting that workout in pushes out all those great endorphins. You feel better physically, you feel better mentally, and that's really important. So one time is all it takes to get hooked again.
Your class that you give every day, I just want to say, you've been doing that for how long now?
10 years, December 2nd, we celebrated.
The one outside, the one that you give in the morning?
Yeah, the one outside, it used to be inside. When the gym was open, I teach it in the aerobics room at World Gym Palm Springs.
Got it.
And then I work with the city, Mayor Jeff Coors and Jasmine Waits from the Parks Department. And they got us streamlined us a permit process so we could still work out outdoors and people could stay fit and healthy. So that was a wonderful thing.
So where do people find you every day early in the morning?
They find me at Ruth Hardy Park right now at the basketball courts because that's empty for us. And 7:30 a.m. come a few minutes early, set up, and we do it until 8:30.
You also recently won the trainer award in the Coachella Valley for 2020-2021. I
did. Yeah.
What was that about?
Well, that was such a nice honor. I'm humbled to do that. Jim Bogle from the CV Independent has this every year, the best of Coachella Valley, and I was nominated with some other great trainers, and I guess they have about 15,000 readers who all vote, and it was such a nice thing, to be recognized, especially at the age of 63, because all the other trainers that I was nominated with are much younger. And at 63, that really gives a boost to not only myself, but to other folks in my age category, my peers, who are looking to get fit and stay viable and visible.
So speaking of 63, let's be honest. I just turned 59, and it's sometimes a bitch to get up in the morning.
I see.
You just had recently, last week, a procedure on your back.
I did.
And you're back at it again this week for the class in the morning.
Yeah, I am.
So
I miss it when I on. I got clearance from my surgeon to do it with limited motion. I can do it, but I'm doing fine. I had a spinal cord stimulator implanted in my back with metal leads up my spinal cord, and it relieves the pain of neuropathy. In fact, I'm running a program right now on it, and I've got at least 50 to 60% relief. So it's a wonderful thing. But I'm back out there.
So what is that drive coming from, and where is that desire? I mean, I get
Well,
it. It's 8:30 would be nice in the morning. 9 o'clock would be even nicer. But like, why not 9:30 as opposed to like
right. Why not
7:30
9:30?
a.m. in the morning?
I try to make it available for both people who work, 9 to 5 jobs, day
Right.
jobs that they be at, and 7:30 seemed to be the sweet spot. Now I know that's a little too early for some people, but it's worth getting up a little early to come there. The drive to do this is based on my own personal needs. I love teaching class, and the crew that I have, the G-Force Workout crew, there are some just amazing people, and I've made wonderful friendships from that class over the last 10 years, and they keep coming, and we're having a good time together and getting a great workout in, and I look forward to that every single day.
I tell you, good for you. You
Yeah.
started when you first started back in '73. You were in the
Uh-huh.
gymnastic world, right?
Yes, I was a sophomore going on my junior year in high school. Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between gymnastic world and weightlifting world, right?
Certainly. Yeah.
Right. So
Right there.
when did you cross over, and did you even find the need to cross over, or do you even need to cross over? Because I know gymnastic people are very gymnastic. They do things I could never even think of trying, neither would I want to try. Versus,
Right.
you go on your lift and you do back and shoulder. It's a whole different, bang, bang, bang mindset.
Exactly. Gymnastics I'm the shrimp in the family. All my brothers are taller and bigger like my dad was, and they were football, basketball, sports stars. And so along comes little me. And I think in high school I was 5'2", and I couldn't do any of that. I couldn't play basketball or football or baseball, and I didn't want to. So gymnastics, though, lit a fire in me. I could do gymnastics. I was built for it, and I was good at it. And so I snagged onto that. And then I kept doing gymnastics well into my 30s. I kept up on it. But I joined the gym in San Francisco in '77 for a different experience. And so I'm glad I did. It was an easy transition. I could still do handsprings up until about my mid-50s. And then I decided I better quit doing
Stop.
that.
Stop.
Yeah, had to use my head.
So, but is there a correlation between the two, or does one need, is it very common to be in both, or is it
Oh, I
one or
think
the
so.
other?
I think gymnastics guys, they don't just do the gymnastics; they work out as well. Any Olympic level gymnastics guy will tell you, yeah, they're in the gym and they're hitting it. So the both are definitely intertwined. You see these amazing bodies on these gymnasts, both male and female, and it's come from hard work on the gymnastics floor, but they also work out. So it was an easy transition for me.
It was for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now came, being that driven and being that excited at all times for the
Mm-hmm.
world when COVID hit,
Yes.
which kind of like, I've been here since the summer. It kind of, we had, at least for me, we had two shutdowns. Like, okay, when we're
Right.
going to reopen, and when we're going to shut down, and we open again or shut down again.
Right.
So you found yourself, your home, your world, your everyday, love for the sport,
Mm-hmm.
is being cut off.
Yes, it was, and that was tough stuff. But I'm kind of a guy that I try to live life on life's terms, and I roll with it. And I'm an optimistic guy. I wake up happy, to have another day. And that's the way I looked at it. I said, yeah, this sucks right now, but I had a little more time to spend with my old dog and get to know some of my neighbors a little better. And so I just rolled with it. And then when we found out that we could exercise in the park, that changed it all for me. So I'm really happy to have that option.
Have you always been this happy guy?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed too often, unless I'm not feeling well. I'm pretty easy to get along with in the morning.
I have to admit, listen. I mean, I think age is just a number, and I
Yep.
certainly don't feel 59, but I
No.
do feel at times, I don't do the things I did when I'm by 20. But
Right.
I found at 60, you're doing so much at 63, and I don't think you have
Yep.
any intention, like I said earlier, of slowing down anytime soon. But
Nope.
do you find it like, well, let me just sleep in today. Let me just, let the class run by itself. I just want to like chill out and no more jumping up and down for a week. I want to go lay on the beach for a week.
Yeah, I have those moments, and I do vacation really well. I'm not one of these that goes on vacation and can't relax or anything like that. I'm totally into that, and I recommend it for everybody, including myself. There was a time when I worked 50 to 60 hours a week, and I had a very nice friend of mine, Rosa Perez, and she told me, Ted, slow down, have a sane schedule, and be in the moment, and you'll be just fine. Because I was working myself just ragged,
Right.
and couldn't get to things, couldn't finish things. And so she calmed me down, and I work a sane 40-hour per week when the gym is open, and I don't make any less money doing that for some strange reason. Everything's fine, and I'm a happy camper. So yeah.
What do you tell the ones that, because I struggle with this as well, when
Mm-hmm.
they need to do something, but they're not a hiker,
Right.
they're not a jogger,
Mm-hmm.
there's just not that many options for them. Obviously, your class is a great option, but
Yep.
if they just can even make that because, hey, it's too early in the morning, or they got kids, or they got
Mm-hmm.
to work at 6 in the morning, or what do you tell them to do as opposed to doing nothing?
Well, that's a very good question. And that's a challenge for a lot of people. Here's the deal: we are responsible for what we do and what we don't do.
We
So
as humans,
yeah, we as humans, and when it comes to exercise and building exercise into your daily routine, I get it. That's a struggle. I mean, I don't know how people who work 8 to 5 and then go to the gym, I'm pooped at the end of the day,
right?
they get in the gym. So it is a commitment, and it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that you can either choose to meet or not. And I've worked with mothers and fathers who had kids, and they needed to carve out an hour to come be with me. And it's not easy. I'll give you
Right.
that. But it's an investment in yourself that everybody wins from. So if you feel better, you and your loved ones are going to feel better around you. And if you're healthier, they're probably going to model your behavior as well. Is my experience, and start to make changes for themselves. The investment in yourself has to happen, and you do have to make that decision for yourself.
So if
No
I
one.
haven't, so if I haven't done it for a while and I want to make the investment, and I'm
Mhm.
in my 40s or the 50s, is it too late?
Yep. Oh, hell no, hell no. That's it. That's the thing. We hear it's never too late to start, and that's exactly true with exercise. I mean, I get people say in my class, our oldest guy in my class when we're in the gym is Carson, and he's 95 years old,
Is he
and
really?
yeah, and he comes in and does what he can do. He stays for about 20 minutes and then makes an exit. His wife Jeanette, who is 79, 80. She stays the whole class, so it's different for everybody. Do
Right.
what you can do, and if the options are narrow for people, you have to find something that you'll do, that you like enough, whether it's walking or playing tennis or swimming or whatever. You have to choose something. You don't have to choose weightlifting, but you have to choose something that you're excited about doing and that you enjoy.
And I guess you have to have a desire
Yes.
to do something, because if you want to sleep until noon, you want to sleep until
Yeah.
noon, that's going to be your thing. At least you have to, it's a desire of some level. You don't have to be Ted 63, what he does every day. You don't have to be Sam West, what he does. You have to
Yeah.
look, you have the own level of desire, and just
Yes.
do, like you said, do something.
Yep.
You just
Yeah.
recently launched a website, which I'm not a website person, but I have to tell you, it looks really good.
Oh, thanks.
Whoever did it for you did a really good job.
I
Uh,
appreciate
can you tell
that.
the listeners what it is, what's your website, and how they can find you?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. It's tedguice.com. And Scott Tambling from Desert Digital Design created this website for me, and I'm so pleased. That guy is just a miracle
He did
worker,
a good
and
job.
yeah, he did a great job for me. And it is basically, the place to go to catch up on everything health and fitness, from exercise videos, which we'll be loading this next week, to blog posts to find out what's going on. Some of my recent blog posts were how to stay healthy and fit during a pandemic, how to get started, how to get motivated. 3 things that you need to do to meet the new year in health and fitness. So there's lots of information on there. There's going to be more and more blog posts, and a mailing list you can get on to ask me anything or have me send you anything. It's all good. And I'm just so pleased with it. TedGuice.com. Thanks for mentioning that.
And also, just to mention, your class in the morning is
Yeah.
donation based, just for the
Yeah.
listeners
And
to be clear.
Yeah, it's really something that I never wanted to charge for, Sam. I
Right.
wanted it to be a nice community event, and it has turned into that.
Right.
But I don't want anyone, the crew members are so sweet. They pass around a little tip jar for me, and
Right.
that's fine, but it is so not necessary. I have people in my class who are struggling just like the rest of us, who can't find work,
Right.
who are on limited budgets. Maybe they have kids to care for,
Right.
and I want to know that is the least of my worries. There's so many people who are able to take care of me that way in class, and they're happy to do it, and I'm happy to have you just get there. So I never want anyone not to come to my class because they don't have tip money. It's not important to me.
No, I get that. I just wanted to mention that it wasn't a charge class by all means.
No, it's
right?
free. Yeah.
What did COVID teach you?
What does COVID teach me? Well, that's also a very good question.
I know, I love good questions.
COVID has taught me to take a deeper look at myself, what my motivations are, what my fears are. It has taught me to value my friendships even more. It has taught me to not just talk about being grateful, but actually be grateful every day for what I've got in front of me. And I am. I start my day with gratitude. I write down things that I'm grateful for, and that really helps me. And COVID has just deepened my desire to be more of service to people, more available to people, both emotionally and physically at class. So it's been, even though it's a crappy time in our history, for me personally, I've been able to have some real growth during this time, and I'm really happy about that. I want to keep growing until the day I quit breathing.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
And you're probably looking forward to the day World Gym opens back up again, like
I am.
most
I
gyms.
am. In
Yeah.
fact, I just posted a little
I
thing on
did.
their
I saw that. Yeah.
page. Yeah, and so they're planning on opening up. When things are closed and the rumor mills swirl, and so they just wanted to make sure everybody was rest assured that they will be opening as soon as they can.
And you're probably looking forward to that day, like the rest of us, or the rest of the gym
I
as well.
am.
Yeah.
I love my gym life. I hit that door and I see at 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I see my first client, Larry Cook, and I see the guys behind the desk, and it just makes my day. And Zoom
So
went
your
off.
first client at 6 a.m?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what time do you get up?
I get up at 4:30 every morning.
What time do you go to bed?
Usually somewhere between 9 and 10. So I get about 6 to 7 hours sleep, and that's good.
Is that enough?
It is for me. Thank you. And I've quit fighting that. I sleep less and less as I get older, and I wondered about that. I have a good friend, Michael Koth, who comes to my class, and he said, Ted, the same thing for me. He says, I've just accepted that I'm a cat.
I know Michael.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah. So I sleep for 2 to 3 hours, he said. And then I wake up and do a few things, and then I'll go back to bed, and then I wake up and and that's just the way it is.
I envy both of you. Because when that eye opens up after 3 hours of sleep, I'm shutting that down again because I want to go back. Yeah, I envy both of you.
Thank you. Well, Ted, he's a high guy and a great guy, so I get him.
No, yeah, I envy both of you, and maybe one day I can catch up with the two of you.
You know what, Sam? Whatever works for you is good. It's all good. So heck, a lot of people sleep more as they age. So don't worry about it. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
You do you. Yeah.
Ted, thank you so much for this information. To the listeners, if you're in Palm Springs or to visit Palm Springs, you know how to find Ted.
Yeah.
If you want to do something in the morning, the class is so much fun. It's early for me, it's cold for me, but I tend to bitch a lot. But don't worry about me, I'm fine.
Oh
Um,
my God. Okay.
Thank
Someday
you.
I'll come drag you again.
No, I'll come. You just let it at least warm up to like 65 or 70, and I'll come.
Poor baby.
It took me a while just to get my gloves off. Yes,
I
yeah,
understand.
yes, yes. Um, Ted, it was a
Yep.
pleasure.
Hey, thank you, Sam. My
Thank
pleasure.
you
It was
again,
great talking to you.
and to everyone. Till next time. This is Sam West with Signature West Podcast. Enjoy and be healthy and stay safe, everyone.